Our society does not process anger effectively at all. When someone else is angry in your environment, you kind of internalize it a little bit. Most people have been traumatized by an angry person. We are just so sensitive in childhood. Parents are fighting, we try to like stop it, or we try to help, or we blame ourselves and think it's something they're fighting about me, or we hear people talking and we assume they're talking about us. This is where it starts. People start to believe that anger is the problem. Anger is the most violent and destructive emotion. We try to repress and eradicate anger from our emotional vocabulary. We try to say that anger is just repressed grief. Anger can be a component of the grieving process, but I don't think that anger and grief are one and the same. And I've been doing a lot of research on somatic body healing practices. The Body Keeps the Score talks about how PTSD victims, like victims of extreme trauma, become very, very angry because anger is a healthy animalistic response to your boundaries being violated. When you have a situation like that, we're going to switch into fight, flight, freeze. And our amygdala gets activated, our adrenal glands start secreting adrenaline into our bloodstream and cortisol, and our body prepares to move to ensure our survival by any means necessary. Anger is a whole body engagement because you're coming in on my personal space, you're coming in on my body, you're coming in on my identity, my belief systems, and that's a big no-no. It's a healthy way of asserting your boundaries and saying, you got the wrong one. Like, you need to fuck off. It means you care. I was so depressed in my adolescence and early adulthood. I was so depressed, I did not have any boundaries. I've been groped in the parking lot of my college campus. I did not know how to assert my boundaries because on a subconscious level, I felt like anger was bad. Or if I displayed all of these different natural defense mechanisms, I was going to be perceived as a bitch. And society around me was going to shame me for displaying anger. And I think that is so toxic. It's shunned upon for women to show anger, and women who do have healthy boundaries and express their dissatisfaction with other people, they get viewed a certain way. I'm not saying that there aren't people who misuse their power and misdirect their anger and project and blame. Anger is one of the best emotions to alchemize because you care enough. You're now at the frequency where you care enough about your boundaries to assert them. Energetically, you can set boundaries with yourself about what you will and won't do, what you will and won't tolerate. You can set boundaries with others in your environment on like how they should treat you, how they should approach you based on how you treat yourself. Do you think who you are is worth protecting? Because that was one of the biggest problems for me. I let all types of shit go down because I didn't think I was worth an expression of anger. I was like, no, that's too much. But it's like, why not? Is my life not worth protecting? Seriously, ask yourself this question. Do you believe you're worth protecting? Because you're not going to set healthy boundaries if you don't believe that you are worth protecting. You're not even going to go to that extreme. When you use anger in the way it was meant to be used, you're going to embarrass people because they're going to have the wrong one. They're going to treat you a certain way, expecting you to take certain things, and you're going to be like, nah, you miscalculated. You really thought that you could pull that with me. It might have worked on somebody else, but it's not going to work on me because I know who I am. It's crazy to me that I've gone this long not knowing this, cowering in the corner, afraid of anger and my own potential when I am angry, instead of saying, nah, I have to show up a certain way in the world and I have to let other people know like who I am. It's totally normal, to have concepts and ideas and beliefs about anger based on the experiences we've had within the past. PTSD can create this repressed fear and anger that you never fully expressed. Animals, you think they're so stressed, but like they're allowing their body to protect them with those core emotions. And our society has shamed us so much for expressing them or for experiencing them. Like, oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be feeling this way. We are always canceling people on social media for expressing their anger, for being passionate about things. No, I need you to say that differently because you triggered the part of me that doesn't want to process anger. Because I still have like an internalized shame about my own anger and an internalized fear of other people's anger. Home policing, right? I need you to like cool off first and then we can talk. Why are we trying to get people to be something other than what they are? Why are we forcing ourselves? Humans are animals who naturally experience these emotions using our higher rational logic brain to try to intellectualize away our feelings. That doesn't work. Our emotions have a purpose. It is our body trying to communicate something to us. We are trapped in these beliefs that certain emotions are good, certain emotions are bad. No, you need to lift yourself up. You need to elevate your own self-concept so that you can manage yourself when you're angry. You need to be able to confront an angry person and not internalize their anger against yourself. And that takes an immense amount of self-worth. And it takes a lot of fucking work to get there. That's the only way. We cannot repress anger as a society because it's a core emotion. And we will be doing more damage to ourselves trying to get everybody else to be different from what they naturally are. And trying to get yourself to be different from how you naturally are, you know? Everyone wants everyone else to say things differently and stop being angry first before they talk about it. But nobody really wants to do that with themselves. The only answer is taking personal accountability, is saying, you know, I'm angry and other people are angry and it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with anger. And I don't think we should, as a society, continue to tiptoe around it because we have trauma that we have not dealt with about people who projected their anger onto us. If we learned more about anger, if we were more open to educating ourselves about it, we wouldn't be so afraid. Look for ways and look for resources on the internet on how to deal with your anger, and look for healthy ways of expressing your animalistic urges to aggress and avenge without taking it out on others or taking it out on yourself.